Well, hello. My name is Dr. Perry Meyer, and I am the medical director of the Meyer Institute, a center of excellence dedicated to the treatment of the diabetic foot. And this marks the 7th week that we have been in operation under COVID. And again, we have done extremely well this week. And I am pleased to say that the catastrophes that we saw last week all came back for post-op, and they turned out, for the most part, well. And I think that that is a relief on our part, because we were inundated with very high acuity cases, and we managed to kind of pull it together and get care for these people. And I think that I'm going to do another video earlier next week to outline some of those cases, just to show you some of the things that we're doing here now and the level of acuity that we can handle. And I think that any wound clinic could handle. I think it's important to understand what these patients are missing from care in the hospital because of the restrictions that the hospital has been placed under. That's a bit of a problem, and we are trying to be part of the solution by providing care, but also not to take away from the efforts that are occurring in other centers. St. Mike's in Toronto is doing an excellent job with my friend Dr. Karen Cross running the wound scene there. At Sunnybrook Hospital, Ahmed Casey, vascular surgeon, doing the business, trying to expedite cases that with a different set of eyes may not get care, may wait, may be triaged at a lower acuity than what they really are. Individuals such as Dr. Cross and Dr. Casey understand the importance of urgent attention to these patients to ensure that they don't go on to anything worse than what they presented with. These are individuals usually who require, in Dr. Casey's case, vascular reconstruction to save the limb, or to be able to do a minor amputation to save the limb, such as a ray resection or a digit amputation. So it is critical that we have these people on board, but it also is important that the rest of the world sees what a wound center not associated with the hospital can do for these very, very sick patients. The thing though, so that's I'm going to talk about that a little bit next week, but suffice it to say that we have seen a significant increase in the anxiety level of our patients, particularly this past week is the thing that struck me the most. Anxiety and depression. It's really stemming from being caged in for all this time, and then with an overlying dread or fear that something terrible is going to happen to them should they venture outside of their house. So we have been actively trying to talk to patients and explain to them what they need to do to protect themselves, wear a face mask, hand sanitization, and keeping their distance will suffice. They need to be sensible about things, and if they're ill anyways, they shouldn't venture out. But if they're not ill, they should get outside and they should get some exercise. They should get some fresh air, sunshine, etc., etc. And they should also have contact with their families or contact with friends, interaction, dialogue, but at the same time, keeping the distance and doing all the protective things like masks and etc. That's all that really is necessary. When I say that though, it is a bit of a departure from what people are used to. So we've been talking to them about getting used to a new normal, which is this. And they may not be happy about it, but certainly their mood is not going to be improved by doing nothing. And we are therefore spent all of this week really focusing on trying to get patients mobilized, getting them out of the house in a safe way, talking with family, trying to meet in person, but keeping the distance. These are all critical steps to improving our mental health and the mental health and the emotional health of our patients. That, I think, is something that we really need to work on. This has been described as part of the elements that will surface in the third and fourth waves of COVID, as the side effects of all of the quarantining and the restrictions and surgeries, etc. So we should work on this right now to get ahead of it. And finally, we'll talk a little bit about the COVID precautions that are going on here and how the evolution of that. We have had influx of PPE in the form of masks and gloves. These are things that we were keeping our finger on the pulse of, and they're fine. We are able to get hand sanitizer now at will, really. So we are safe that way. And the last thing that we implemented this week, or decided on, was to ensure that everyone who's coming into our office is wearing a mask. Now, again, we can't supply them with the masks, but we are asking them to either make a mask or purchase some masks that they carry for purposes just like this. I think it's important that patients are now taking responsibility a little bit and donning masks when necessary. It will be certainly required going outside. Despite what public health may be saying, I think it's an important barrier to have, even just to keep your fingers away from your mouth. But nevertheless, coming in here to the clinic will require a face mask, and we're going to be quite rigid about that. That starts after the long weekend. We want to make it part of a routine so that becomes our new normal, I guess. It's kind of a nuisance for the patients, and not all of them are happy, and we have to make exceptions. Obviously, there are some patients who are really have a real problem with wearing masks. They get claustrophobic, they have asthma, COPD, breathing problems, stuff like that. Those things you have to make accommodations for that, and we will. But for the most part, patients are ready and willing to do this. We're getting them hyped up a bit about making their own colorful mask, whatever. It is all part and parcel of becoming familiar, or making it a part of their lives and making it part of our lives. What can we say? My name is Dr. Perry Meyer, and I am the medical director of the Meyer Institute, a center of excellence dedicated to the treatment of the diabetic foot. We have lived and learned a lot this week, and we look forward to trying to put forward the things that we learned from our patients this week and put them into play next week and thereafter. Unfortunately, morphing our existence here into a new normal that looks very strange indeed, but hopefully in a month or two, people won't think twice about it. Probably not, but here's to hoping it. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Until next time.